this is Crystar, and Rigid Audio is going out of business. You may not have heard of them. They write contact instruments for well over a decade. If you don't use contacts, you probably don't know about them. But if you've been on Plug-in Boutique, you've seen their instruments left and right being advertised for kind of on the cheap. You also on audio deals. I see them all the time. Well, they're going out of business. They make a ton of contact instruments. I've actually demoed quite a few of them. One of my favorite ones on here that got me there is that Grain States over there. It's actually pretty fun for a granular device. They got some really interesting sounds that comes out of that. What I wanted to make a point to is if you go over to the shop, you got an everything bundle for $25. So you can pick up mostly everything in the shop. The only things that are not in the shop are actually right here for free. You don't have to spend a dime on them. You can get the Cinematrix, this interface, which I had my eyes on, and this is for Contract 7.2.0, which is kind of new as of, before the 8.0 came out. So this interface is actually relative within the last year or so that Contract 7 was released. You got Sis Inferno, Stomp Box, Shimmer Strings. I don't know a whole bunch of these, but this one caught my eye. And I think it was a bit too expensive for me to buy into. I think it was like $50 to $100 at the time, and I kind of went and put it to the side. It was really interesting though, and now it's free, so I'm gonna play around with it. But overall, if you have contact and you want some interest in there and you don't have these already, $25 is kind of a steal for the decade or more of instruments that you get. So let me go into Bitwig and Contract. I got Contact 7. I got the interface loaded. And what this is kind of a looping and drum machine at the same time. It slices up kind of parts of kind of melodies, atmospheres, kind of stuff. And I've got things like this left and right. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't buy this. Is because I you're kind of getting the sounds made in the box. I don't think you can put in different sounds, but there's a ton of them. You got a whole lot of things to play around with. I'm not exactly sure, but you probably can rename the waves that are going under it and put in your own and stuff like that. There's a bunch of snapshots in here, and much like everything else, you have to load this from the files. This is not a kind of a library thing. You don't get a key. You have to load it from the file type thing. So that's a big downer on their instruments. And then the snapshots, you got to go into here and you got to create this. You got to go in there and create the snapshot and do the snapshots loading. It's kind of, I blame Contact more than developer. Contact has some really weird rules. Alrighty, sounds pretty cool and interesting. I was messing around with this right before I started up the video. And I was like, cut. Whoops. I'm trying to, there you go. Trying to take away the side pain. It's kind of not that intuitive. It's got a lot of options. And I think the sheer strength of it is the kind of the worst thing going because it's got a lot of options. I think there are videos on how to play around with this and actually use it for real. And I think there was 3 or 4 or 5 videos in the set, if I remember right. Seen it right, and I was doing a lot of research on it because I thought it was really cool. It sounds really cool. It sounds really out there, and it has a randomizer, and it'll grab. And it's kind of like doing like grabbing stuff, and then what you can do is you can put in your own pattern for kicks and stuff like that. The only thing I don't like about it is how low the quote-unquote ambience or the keyboard section is. But it has some really, really cool stuff. All right, so actually you can select the presets from here also. And some of them kind of don't work and some of them kind of do. Like that one's kind of weird. And after a while, they keep on sounding the same, or maybe I keep on selecting the same ones. Either way, so there's a bank of 4 down here, along with the kicks and stuff like that. So basically, if you want the drum patterns over here, and the keyboard or the melodies over here. I guess these are different tones. So if you click on edit, you can edit the kind of the tracks here. So the A, the B, the C, the D, and same thing with the kicks and stuff like that. E, F, G. And these are all the ones that go across here. You can edit the volume, the pitch, the low pass, high pass, resonance, decay. You can add in drive and distortion, delay, reverb, lo-fi, and they got all kinds of settings on here. And then there's some options in here for like the modulation, the triggering, the miscellaneous type of stuff. Overall, it's really complex for a contact instrument. Overall, cool stuff. Probably spend way too long just messing around with it just on the base default things. Overall, it's kind of a stutter effect or a thing kind of like the loop mix and kind of other things that I have that you can make up other stuff by slicing and dicing, and I think this is what this does, plus a drum machine. So overall, kind of cool, but it's free if you got Contact, right? It's one of the few free instruments, and it's available until the end of the year. So you got probably until the end of the year to get it. I don't know what happens after that. They go out of business, and so long, Rigid Audio. So they're all free to download, or I mean, it's a download type of thing. You download it, you run it up the system, and it perfectly works. So that's what I got. Wanted to show you that as soon as I found out about it. I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and I will talk to you later.